And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And yes, welcome to the show. We're blessed and highly favored here in studio. We got a great lineup for you today. Mike Murphy in the house, Murphy Auto Group. We're going to talk with him about electric vehicles. I got a couple of clips we're going to play around that. Also, net effective interest rates. What does that mean, and how can that play to your favor? Coming up as well, Kingmakers. We're going to talk about that as well. Shane Socash going to be on the line with us as well. David Reynolds, Jewelry and Coin. We're going to talk about this hedge against inflation, buying precious metals, as well as Alex, BlackBelt Lima in the house. We're going to have some positivity injection for you, your daily injection of positivity coming up on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I want to invite you to our next party. Every month we host a third Thursday gratitude party. It's going to be over at the Brio Tuscan Grill, International Plaza Mall, the West Shore Plaza, West Shore Boulevard, that is, at the International Plaza Mall. Thursday, June 20, save the date. You're invited. We're inviting all of our listening audience, whether you're listening to the stream, whether you're pulling us up on YouTube, Rumble, Apple TV, Amazon, Roku, all the different sites. You can find us online, of course, at consumerqb.com. You can see replays there. But Thursday, June 20, what we're doing is we're having a gratitude party, a business mixer, great opportunity. Everybody can come out. And you're going to meet all of our expert contributors, our show partners, real estate team, mortgage team. So many different people are going to be there, and it's going to be a great time to have fellowship. Come on out and have some great food, some great appetizers from Brio Tuscan Grill. And there's also a cash bar available there as well. So you're going to have a great time for networking at Brio Tuscan Grill, International Plaza Mall, Thursday, June 20 at 6 o'clock. Save the date. And we're going to have a good time there. We always look forward to that, meeting our show listeners. It was a great time, too. Alex, one of the last times we had some of the show listeners come up. They were small business owners. It was pretty cool to meet about a half a dozen or so different business owners. And it's just a good time to get together, right?
It is. It's really cool. And, there's nothing like you don't have to pay a fee to get in or anything like that. We're just literally we're hanging out, and we're bringing ourselves and some of our experts with us, and you get to meet us, talk to us, and see what we're all about. You want to talk business? Sure, we'll talk business, but if you just want to come and say hi and eat some of our flatbreads, that's cool too.
There you go. Yeah, lots of good food. And Mike, you had some of your team go there. I know you're kind of around the world at all your different locations and time. It's hard for you to be there, but that's the other thing is our partners can send over their account managers, account executives, et cetera. So that's a good time. That's a great opportunity there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're a business owner and you have an employee that's focused on networking, this would be a perfect event to send them to.
Yeah, exactly. Come on out and enjoy and meet with our team. All right, coming up, we're going to talk with Mike here in just a minute about the electronic vehicle push and some of the government regulation, things of that nature coming up here on the show. Before we do, a couple of hot listings here. We always like to feature our real estate listings. My wife, Lindsay, and I own a top 100 ranked real estate team at Keller Williams Realty, and we feature our properties live on air. We've been doing that for almost 11 years now. August will be 11 years. Actually had a really cool conversation with Florida Realtor Magazine just a couple of weeks ago. They're interviewing me, and it's going to come out, I think, in the July or August issue. So we're looking forward to that. But our highest duty is to our sellers. We want to help our sellers maximize the exposure and the profit. So we got a hot listing here, brand new listing at 140 92nd Avenue, Treasure Island. This is a beautiful property, great investment opportunity. Think about this one here. You have two renovated colleges on an oversized lot. You have unit 140, that's a 1-1. You have unit 142, that's a 2-1, and you have a great opportunity. So think about the cash investment there, the cash kick out if you are renting that out. 140 92nd Avenue, Treasure Island, Florida. Beautiful property. It's just 1.5 blocks from the beautiful beaches, the dolphin-filled waters, and sugar sand beaches of the Gulf of Mexico. You're also a quarter acre from the public boat launch there as well. So check out 140 92nd Avenue, Treasure Island, Florida. Beautiful listing from the Platinum MVP team. 5402 West US 92. I got a bar for sale, folks. If anybody's out there thinking about getting in the bar business or maybe even trying to convert this into a restaurant or something along those lines, got a corner lot. This is in Plant City, and it is the Finish Line Saloon, operating as also a turnkey bar. You have the coveted COP license. Now, this liquor license is really cool because you can sell also packaged liquor, and you can also do on-location parties as long as it's in the same county. For example, if you wanted to have a party, throw a party, and rent a room at the Hard Rock, you could do that. Take that license, boom, there you go. Now you got that. So start thinking about your entrepreneurial opportunities there. 5402 West US Highway 92, Plant City. And you can see all of our listings at PlatinumCoastalElite.com. Check out PlatinumCoastalElite.com. All right, we got Mike Murphy in the house. Murphy Auto Group. Welcome back in, sir.
Great to be back.
Yeah, man. Good to have you. You've been traveling a little bit. I think you went to some golf tournaments and been on the road a little bit, right?
Yeah, just traveling almost too much. It's a great time to be alive. Everybody's spending that post-COVID money, and all businesses want to throw parties again. So
there we go. Get that COP license.
Yeah, no kidding. You had me until I couldn't leave the county.
Yeah, the county. I think that's the rule about it.
But what's that, Polk County, right?
That's Hillsborough.
Or is it Hillsborough?
Yeah.
Well, hey, so anybody listening in Tampa, I might be a player in that one.
Yeah, exactly, right? I mean, that's a winner.
Yeah.
That is a winner.
Reach out to Brandon before I do.
There you go. So, Mike, tell us what's going on in the auto industry. What's your thoughts around auto industry right now?
It is an interesting time to be a dealer. It is a fantastic time to be a customer. It's very, very interesting. Interest rates for a home are like out of control, right? Like it's the worst it's been in 40, 50 years, maybe even longer. Well, automotive, we're seeing the opposite. 0% still exists. As an example, we've got 0% on the BZ4X, which is a BEV electric vehicle that Toyota makes. Very nice vehicle. I do have a few in stock at miracletoyota.com. But if you just look at car rates versus home rates, it is a fantastic time to be purchasing a car. Now, the net effect of that home rate or natural inflation and these natural interest rates are having a tough time on dealers like myself because as inventory normalize and we have a lot of cars back on the ground, it's becoming very expensive to keep them there, right? We have to pay interest on those vehicles. So we are more encouraged now than ever to sell. We're seeing a pricing falling significantly below MSRP. No more price gouging for my competitors. So it's a great time if you want my product or somebody else's to go hit your nearest lot.
Yeah, I like that. So talk us through that. So when I've always kind of wondered how that works. Like, so if you're looking at a car dealership, whatever major flag or brand, you're going to see a lot of cars. They're going to have certain models, some trucks, some cars, some hatchbacks, etc., SUV, and they're going to have different colors there. But how does that work? The manufacturer says, hey, here's allotted amount. You're going to pay. You're paying a certain amount of that to hold that on the lot.
Yeah, good question. It's a competitive market. So here's what happens. Let's just say Ford builds a car and they allocate it to a dealer. The dealer has the right to buy the car from Ford, but almost all of us would rather spend our cash on other things because they're very expensive. We'll get a floor plan line of credit either from the manufacturer themselves or your local bank. So your community bank or even larger banking institutions will be in floor plans. Those flayed over what used to be LIBOR, now SOFR. So SOFR is running, I believe, like 4.6% or something like that. If you apply an interest rate of just say 1%, it's costing us 5.6% of the cost of the entire inventory as an annual holding cost. So we are extremely motivated to get rid of those.
To move deals. Now, is it really true how they say at the end of the month, we go to the end of the month, and then there's more benefit there?
Yes and no. It's based on what you're buying. So when you buy domestic, there's a little bit less of a curve. When you buy import, meaning these cars are built overseas, they incentivize dealers to hit certain market levels so they can keep their inventory and supply chain running smoothly. So if you're buying a car from one of my dealerships, we're extremely motivated to sell a vehicle at the end of the month. Like there is not truly a better time to buy than the last day of the month. I'm begging people, calling like, hey, remember that deal 3 weeks ago that we said no to? We'll say yes right now, but you got to get here before the lights turn off.
Got it. Yeah.
But if you go to buy a Ford that doesn't have a performance pay back to the dealer, you won't get that same benefit.
Got it. If you just joined us, folks, we're talking with Mike Murphy, Murphy Auto Group here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes, and Mike is our auto industry expert, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show, very successful entrepreneur, has other ventures as well. We're going to get to those in just a little bit. Mike, I wanted to talk about the EV push. Biden is pushing this EV. It's in billions of dollars we're given. I got a clip here I want to play. I want to start with this one that's talking about the subsidizing of $7.5 billion for EV stations. And I think a lot of people are going to be shocked at the amount of charging stations that actually have gotten built so far. Check this out.
The federal government has spent billions of dollars subsidizing electric vehicle programs and offering massive tax write-offs for those who go green. But that effort really has been anything but smooth. For example, in 2021, the Biden Energy Department announced a $7.5 billion plan to build 500,000 EV charging stations around the country. But 3 years later, according to federal data, that money has been used to build a grand total of, get this, 8 charging stations.
So they wanted to build 500,000. They built 8. What is going on?
Something's off.
I mean, if that doesn't explain this administration, what does?
Exactly.
I mean, somebody wake this guy up.
Yeah. I mean,
gosh.
And I had this joke.
8?
I had this joke with Captain Will when he was on the show. Captain Will Smith, our mutual friend and pilot buddy. But I said, some people think the sky is falling. I said, no, it's actually just wheels falling off the planes.
Yeah.
Or
worse, it could be doors.
Doors and wheels.
Man,
yeah.
Unbelievable, huh?
Yeah.
Not a great time to own Boeing stock.
Exactly.
So let's get back to these 8 charging stations. Are they large charging stations at least?
I have no idea.
So big.
Huge.
Yeah. Huge.
Man, that's incredible. Just leave it to the private sector. Let Elon build charging stations, and you guys just stay out of our way.
Yeah.
Unreal.
$7.5 billion though of taxpayer money, man. I always just kind of want to ask the question. I'm not making accusations here, but I wonder how much fraud has been in there and how many kickbacks are they getting?
I don't know about that, but what I heard from a friend, reliable source, was that when it comes to Medicare fraud, 1 out of every $4. So the total Medicare spend, 1 out of $4, they know is fraudulent.
I saw an American Greed. It's so funny you said that. It was either Medicare or Social Security fraud. There was an attorney, I want to say he was in Virginia or something, and the guy had actually paid off a judge. So all of his cases were stamped. They're like, and other attorneys are like, how's this guy getting a 99.9% approval on these cases and blah, blah, blah. And he had these billboards. And anyway, so I don't like the CNBCs and NBCs and CBSs, but that's one good show. Is the American Greed show. It's pretty good.
And maybe Shark Tank.
Shark Tank's good too.
Yeah, especially if you're
like
listening and you want to start a small business, but you want to learn from others' mistakes. Watch a few seasons of Shark Tank.
Yeah.
At least you'll understand the big 3, what a P&L is.
Yep.
How a multiple works. You could probably answer what EBITDA is by the time season 1's over. Very good advice.
Yeah, exactly. There's a few good shows out there. So we're talking with Mike Murphy, Murphy Auto Group. Mike. Yeah, so EVs, and there's another clip here. It talks about the demand. The demand is not what it, manufactured demand is what they're looking for. I think it's actually the sales last year was right at 1 million electric cars, but it's less than 10% of the actual auto industry market. So the demand is just not there, right?
Correct. Here's what's interesting. Remember we were talking about interest rates?
Yep.
So we have 0% at Toyota on our electric vehicle. Why is that? It's actually a very, very, very nice vehicle. No one wants it.
They're enticing it. Yeah,
so
they're pushing it.
They're doing everything they can to move EVs. Every dealer that sells EVs that has an ICE option, an internal combustion engine, gas burner, their oldest vehicles are EVs.
Yeah. Which
makes me nervous for Cadillac, who says, all we make is EVs now.
Yeah.
How are you going to make it if no one wants them?
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't fully understand that.
Yeah.
And there's people paying 3 and 4 time multiples for a Cadillac store. I'm going, how do you know if they're going to make it?
Wow.
Because nobody truly wants it. And they're fun cars to drive, but to $7.5 billion for 8 charging stations, that just doesn't pencil. If you're in Polk County, you got to basically leave Polk County to charge your Tesla.
Right.
And, I've got beautiful property located in Haines City that'd be perfect for a charging station, but no one's even contacted us about it.
Right.
We've contacted the government. We've contacted Tesla, and they said, we'll get back to you and check this out. 6 weeks to 6 months. We're not real sure.
Yeah,
that was their official position.
There you go. Well, hey, at least they gave you a window.
I guess.
All right. Well, Mike Murphy's in the house, folks. We're going to come back. We're going to talk with him more about the auto industry. Also, he has other ventures going on as well. We talked about name, image, likeness, NIL in the areas. By the way, the UF football coach got served with a case. That might be something topical. But also Kingmakers. He's got a really cool local hang spot kind of right here in Tampa Bay. Kingmakers coming up. More with Mike Murphy, Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, BrandonR.
All right, we're in studio here with Mike Murphy, Murphy Auto Group. We're going to talk about Kingmakers and maybe get into a little NIL, name, image, likeness, part of the college. The new college scene relating to paying athletes coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. A couple of hot listings here before we do. We got a property at 18522 Gulf Boulevard. This one's on the beach. It's literally not across the street. You're on the beach. You walk out your front door and you walk past your heated pool and you are on the sugar sand beaches and dolphin-filled waters of Pinellas County. Indian Shores, 18522 Gulf Boulevard, Unit F. $1 million listing from the Platinum MVP team. Owner is motivated, looking to make a deal, looking for offers here. We have an updated kitchen with granite countertops, mosaic backsplash. Two key things with this property. Yes, you can short-term rent it. And secondly, only $250 a month as an HOA fee. Super awesome opportunity. This is a great listing, 18522 Gulf Boulevard in Pinellas County. Another beautiful listing is 5642 Egrets Place, Newport Richey, Florida. Gated community, beautiful home with an elevator. You have a heated pool, private backyard with pavers, multiple balconies, 3-bedroom, 3.5 bath, 3,000 square feet, quarter-acre lot at 5642 Egrets Place, Newport Richey, Florida. Just a beautiful property, one of my favorite listings right now. And you can see all of our real estate listings at PlatinumCoastalElite.com. Check out PlatinumCoastalElite.com. A quick shout out to Discovery Golf Cars, longtime friends of the Consumer Quarterback Show as well. It's Discovery Golf Cars. They hooked me up with a beautiful Keller Williams red golf cart, and my dogs love to go for a ride. We use it sometimes for our business as well, going door knocking around our listings and open houses. Check them out online, discoverygolfcars.com. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. All right, Mike Murphy in the house. Mike, you also have this new just really cool spot, man, kind of a hang spot called Kingmakers, and it's also got this networking aspect to it. You gave me the tour the other day. Super cool place, man. Tell us about that.
Sure. Kingmakers is a place that's meant for two different types of people. One, who's an aspiring entrepreneur that needs some coaching and developing, and the second is for those that have already made it to invest in the next generation. So we wanted to do it in a relaxed setting. So Kingmakers, imagine it being like a men's locker room in a private club. We've got TVs everywhere, full hydration station with everything you could ever need. But then you have private study rooms where you can take calls, do Zooms, work on your ideas. We then have a conference room where you're able to bring in guests and other clients and pitch them. There's a production studio, a gym, and a few other benefits. Now, for our members, it's very, very affordable. They can join at a non-equity level, and you pay a certain amount a month when we open in September. Right now, we're in the pre-grand opening phase. We're looking for equity members. For those people that want to own part of Kingmakers, 1% is going for about $25K. So it's a very easy, affordable way to own part of a shared workspace and also a business incubator.
I like that. So shared workspace, kind of co-creative type workspaces. You go in there and you have almost like a networking built in. You have a mastermind kind of built in. People have questions in business. You know, they're maybe at this part of their business, there's a stage, and they might come to you and say, Mike, I'm here in my business. You've got several businesses. How can I get to here? Right? They want to move into that adult style.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's just talk about the average person that says, hey, I'm done working for the man. I'm going to start my own company and mow lawns.
Yeah.
Well, this gives them a clubhouse where they can go, well, I know how to push the lawnmower and edge and weed whack to perfection, but what kind of business should I have?
Yeah.
Should it be an LLC? Should it have a subchapter S selection? How should I set up, benefits for my employees? Do I need to offer health care? So now you can do all that in a relaxed setting, looking at, 4 70-inch TVs, watching the local game, sipping on a cold brew, and getting advice from other millionaires that have been there, done that, and got the T-shirt.
Yeah, I love that, man. All right, we have about 3 minutes left. I wanted to talk a little bit about the NIL because it's such a cool area, man. Gosh,
yeah, for sure.
we kind of teased it. The UF coach got sued. It was this what was it, a quarterback that came out, and what did they do? Kind of renege on the deal they offered him, et cetera.
Jaden Rashada, what an episode of true life this will be in a decade.
Yeah.
So somehow he commits to Miami for I think the number was $11 million.
Yeah.
And total NIL, assuming he stays 4 years, blah blah blah. For whatever reason, we let him out of, meaning Miami lets him out of the deal. Florida offers him $13 million. He commits to Florida. He gets up there, The collective, I guess, wasn't as solidified at that moment in time. They have a falling out. He goes this year to Arizona State, plays 1 year as a true freshman. I think he was in a couple games, but he's a 5-star guy, got all the talent in the world. He's now sued University of Florida, their NIL, and their head coach personally for, I think, violation of a contract.
Wow, that's pretty neat, man. That's really interesting. And it's a situation where it's kind of uncharted territory, right? So you got these coaches that are acting all of a sudden now as recruiters / a salesman. They're not salesmen. They don't understand the law either. They don't have an attorney.
There's things you shouldn't submit in an email or put in writing. Yeah. If you guys Google some of the early evidence out there, I read one article that somebody said, and I quote, tell him to set up his brokerage accounts because he is going to be loaded. He'll be like unlimited amount of wealth or something that why would you ever say that?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's implied liability at its finest. And I'm sure there's an attorney somewhere that goes, hey, they offered you $13 million. They violated your contract. We'll sue them. They'll mediate. Yep. It's going to cost them $1 million or $2 million to fight it. So they're just going to give you that $1 million.
Exactly.
Now how much fun is taken out of college football?
I know, right?
And let's call it what it is. It's minor league football.
Well, how can a school like USF compete, right, versus the Miamis, the Alabamas, the Ohio States, right? How can a small school like USF or even UCF, for example?
I would flip it on you. I'd say Miami's the small school. We're a small private school, right?
But they got a lot of dollars, body. Though.
Do they?
I think so.
They got a few people with a bunch of dollars.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you think about
collective it's the city of Miami, it's the orange and gold, orange and green, it's the fans that support this. But USF is pumping out a ton of graduates. I mean, a ton of graduates, and you're in a city like Tampa, so Tampa has to step up.
Yep.
And then the graduates have to step up.
Okay.
And then you need a few billionaires and a couple millionaires to lead the way.
Yeah.
What I'm worried about is like a school like Georgia, like. And Athens is a great place. I've got stores in Georgia, lovely people, but it's hard for Athens to compete against Atlanta.
Yeah,
and it's
GT,
a little bit tough for
Georgia
Athens
Tech
to compete against Augusta.
Yep.
So what starts to happen when, especially with basketball, it only takes 5 players?
Yeah.
I mean, you can go spend the money, find 5 players, and put your team wherever you want.
Final thought, how do you want people to connect with you, Mike?
Yeah, best way is to check me out on social media, Real Mike Murphy. You can always go to realmikemurphy.com. And if you're even remotely interested in a vehicle, check me out at miracletoyota.com.
MiracleToyota.com. Mike Murphy, Murphy Auto Group. It seems like we could keep going with these interviews, but we have to cut it short there. But yeah, lots of good stuff. Check out Kingmakers. Where can they find more at Kingmakers?
Absolutely. KingmakersTampa.com or on Instagram at KingmakersTampa.
All right. Good stuff, Mike. Thanks for coming in, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
All right. Hey, taking a quick break. Coming back, we're going to talk with Alex BlackBelt Lima. We're going to give you your daily injection of positivity here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're going to talk about raising your standards and some easy, simple ways to do that here coming up on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Follow us online. We would love to connect with you at BrandonRhymes1 at CQB Show, and follow us on our YouTube channel as well. We'll be right back.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show.
All right, Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. Coming up, we're going to have a conversation with Alex BlackBelt Lima on the Consumer Quarterback Show coming up here in just a moment. Raising your standards. What can you do to raise your standards, live a better life, be more positive, live in the present? We're going to talk about that here coming up in just a moment. Before we do, we'd like to feature our real estate listings, and one of our sponsors as well for this segment is Heights Soft Wash, pressure washing company right here in Tampa Bay. Say hello to Ramin and his team. They do a great job. They work on my personal residence. They work on our real estate, commercial properties, residential properties. HeightsSoftWash.com, HeightsSoftWash.com. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. All right, a couple of hot listings here. We got a property at Old Archer Road in Gainesville, Florida, 3101 Old Archer Road. Now, we got a great opportunity. So University of Florida, I know there's some Gators out there. I grew up loving the Florida Gators and then played at University of South Florida for the South Florida Bulls. But this is right down the road. It's about 1.5 miles down from the University of Florida. So what we're talking about is pre-construction pricing for a limited time. We represent 90 units in Gainesville. Pre-construction luxury condos available for sale on Old Archer Road. That's the main drag right there in Gainesville, going right down by Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. Pre-construction pricing, you're getting 10% off retail right now, starting in the low 400s to the high 900s. You got penthouses that are just under $1 million there. 1 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom options. EB5 visas approved for this community as well. 5 minutes from Shands Medical, Butler Plaza, and again, right down the road from the University of Florida. Great opportunity. You have chef gourmet kitchen in the clubhouse overlooking the pool, spacious business center, private theater room, and state-of-the-art fitness facility equipped with Pelotons and more, temperature-controlled pool as well. Cabanas, grills, and more. 3101 Old Archer Road. Any of our Florida Gators out there that want to reach out and maybe buy a unit and rent it out to some kids for school, there's no rental restrictions. 3101 Old Archer Road, Gainesville, Florida. All right, 6101 Bayside Drive. Newport Richey, Florida, $1 million listing, beautiful property right on the water. We've got 5 bedrooms, 3 bath, 3852 square feet, quarter-acre lot with lush palm trees. Hurricane-grade windows and doors, wood-burning fireplace, your own private dock. So bring your boat, bring your jet skis, enjoy that Florida lifestyle to the fullest at 6101 Bayside Drive, Newport Richey, Florida. The primary ensuite has quartz countertops, luxurious walk-in showers, 2 HVAC units. You have a open concept floor plan here. Too many upgrades to list. Check them all out. You can see all of our 60-plus listings at PlatinumCoastalElite.com. Check out PlatinumCoastalElite.com. All right, we got Alex Lima in the house, BlackBelt Fitness and Martial Arts, our self-defense expert. And Alex, we wanted to jump into a little bit of positivity here today. Some of the feedback that we get is people really like our positive segments, don't they?
Yeah, let's do it, man. I love talking positivity. There's enough, not so great news in the world, so let's change that. It's all about perspective.
That's right. It's all how you frame it, right? I mean, yeah. So writer and professor C.S. Lewis observed that every time you make a choice, one of my favorite writers, by the way. C.S. Lewis is great.
Lewis, absolutely phenomenal.
He's really good. Every time you make a choice, you are turning the central part of you, the part that chooses, into something a little different than it was before. And even Tony Robbins, one of my favorites, I went to his Business Mastery in Fiji, it's the way that you train your brain, right? So you're creating these thought processes, you're developing these neuron pathways, or however the brain is, those terms for the brain. Neural pathways, yep. So most people having freedom to make choices. So anyways, it goes on through 1, 2, 3. So choice number one, my standards for myself will be higher than what others might set for me. Great leaders are not known for being satisfied with their current levels of performance. They continually push themselves to reach their potential. They set the bar higher for themselves than maybe others might set for them. So set your standards high, keep them high, and then always look for ways to improve yourself, right? Personal development, Alex.
Yeah, definitely. So this is probably, I don't want to age myself too much, but the gray is showing, right? So it's probably 20 years ago I came up with this just on my own, this reflective thought in my head. You can't be comfortable until you get where you want to be.
Yeah.
And I'm never comfortable, and I'm never where I want to be.
Yeah.
So that's why, you keep striving for greatness and more, and that's what conquerors do. Every time you climb a mountain, when you get to that top of that mountaintop, what are you going to do? Oh man, look at that mountain.
Where's the next mountain?
Let me go climb that one, and that's just what we do, And you said it pretty great. The programming of the brain.
Yeah.
There's 2 ways that can go. You can either program your brain, or you can have others and other influences program it for you.
Right.
I don't know about you, but I'd rather be in control.
Absolutely. And like you said, you're always leveling up. You're improving, especially in real estate.
Why not?
Any trade, right? Yeah. Like you always want to think about what are other people doing? Like in real estate, for example, with Keller Williams, we've got great masterminds. There's lots of stuff that you can look at and grow. I'm teaching a class, by the way. We'll be plugging this over the next couple months. But on Wednesday, July 31st, I'm teaching a class called Win with Sellers.
Nice.
And it's going to teach agents how to get listings, how to be on the listing side of the business, how to be the employer versus the employee. And there's a whole talk behind that on why that is and what that means, but how to overcome objections, how to get your unfair share of business. So that would be one way, for example, for people listening, show up for that class. It's a hybrid class. It's going to be taught online. It's going to be in person as well. But when you look at raising your standards, you've got to figure out the books to read, the videos to look at, what you're filling your mind with, right?
Yeah, continue to educate yourself. Can anyone give me one good reason as to why you shouldn't? Like, why wouldn't you want to level up? Why wouldn't you want to be more fit?
Right.
Why wouldn't you want to be healthier? Why wouldn't you want to have more money in the bank? Why wouldn't you want to have more accolades and diplomas and things behind you? The only excuse, because it's hard.
Excuses,
so what? Stop being soft.
Yeah,
no one ever said, there's not a single person, I have never once in my life been told that something is going to be easy. I don't anticipate anything to be easy.
Yep.
You got to work at it. You got to do it. You have to educate yourself. You have to push yourself. And then as far as looking for sources, you know this, man. Look, you just mentioned Tony Robbins. Dude, a lot of the groundwork has been laid for you.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to reinvent the wheel. There's already, I guarantee you, somebody that has accomplished at least somewhat what it is that you're striving to do.
That's right.
So look at those models. Look at those role models.
That's it.
And check your sources, though. Don't just get on, a social media site and take whatever they say as gospel, that this is how you get money. And this actually read, people. Walk into a library, for God's sakes. Please don't close down the library. It's everything they're trying to do, right? Go in there, find an actual, and study, man. Look it up. You can level up your life. I'm a testament to that.
Yep.
I came from the hood having nothing, man. My family, I was that kid on free lunch in school.
Yep.
And now what am I doing? I fly around with jets with millionaires, and we're going around and we're having key lime pie in the Keys, and just doing all this awesome stuff with awesome people, man. And I have a blessed life. But you know what? Another thing, people want these blessings. They want things in life. God works with you, not for you.
Yeah.
You have to put in the work. You have to put in the work. So no matter what, you have to still continue to strive and push to level up.
Yeah, Lindsay actually had a story the other day. I've heard her tell a couple of times where, don't pray for God to move mountains and not expect to wake up in the morning next to a shovel.
You better get to it.
That shovel's going to be there. It's going to be like, oh, there's a shovel. I got to overcome these mountains. I got to overcome these things.
I love that.
Yeah,
that's great.
That's a good one. So we're talking with Alex BlackBelt Lima here. He's our self-defense expert. We're on number 2 here. So number 2, when you're looking at helping people is more important than making them happy. Do you want to lead or be loved? Sometimes leadership, whether you're leading a corporate team, a family, a congregation, a group, a project, a friend, means disappointing people at a rate they can stand.
Yeah.
Often it's because people want what they don't need and they need what they don't want. That means someone needs to say something, and that task usually falls on leaders. At the end of the day, leaders lead most effectively when they have helped those they serve, even if it comes at the expense of their happiness. That's strong, right?
That is awesome. That is awesome. Go back a little bit. What was I think it was the second point you said there.
Yeah, so you're gonna disappoint people at a rate they can stand.
Yeah. So one of my clients that I train, I'm very, very, very proud. I'm proud of everyone that I train, and everybody that I train. And I mean, you've seen it, Brandon. They don't just. They're not just. It's not just a transaction for me. They become part of, like I say, the BlackBelt family. Like we have a tribe that we build, and everybody's good to each other. One of my clients just graduated high school. Was at the graduation the other day on Thursday, as a matter of fact.
Nice.
Valedictorian. With an 8.76 GPA. Did you even know that was possible?
No, that's double.
Yeah, I was like, is this some kind of joke?
That's over
It's
double.
not. It's like dual enrollment and stuff like that. It's like a cumulative thing. But still, it's absolutely
crazy.
knocked it out of the park. Going to be going to school for robotic engineering.
Yeah.
This girl, go back to no excuses.
Yeah.
Do you know how hard it is to get a GPA like that?
Oh, dude.
I would imagine, I don't think there's a person in this room or maybe listening in the audience right now, very few people that could actually put in that kind of ethic.
I've never heard one.
Almost never miss a training session as well.
Yeah.
As well as being part of clubs and school activities. So I don't want any excuses from anybody when it comes to bettering your life and pushing.
Yeah.
You just gotta bite down on that mouthpiece and you gotta go forward. That's what you gotta do.
Yeah, well, I think when it comes to setting goals too, when you look at it, a lot of times people say, someday I'll do this, someday I'll, right? And I think it was Brian Tracy that said, well, too many people are stuck on someday I'll. It's an island. They're stuck on that island called someday I'll. And
there is no tomorrow.
Someday they'll do it.
There is no tomorrow.
That's right.
Follow Creed, right? But what I was getting to with that, one of the conversations I had with her is because, she's going to be going off to school.
Yeah.
She always, for whatever reason, I've become like a mentor to some of these people. They come to me. I didn't ask for this, but the gravity is there. And I told her, I said, look, because she was worried about leaving friends behind and relationships are going to change. I said, listen, you have to evolve in life, and you are going to leave some people behind. People that aren't on your level, don't have the same goal as you.
Yeah.
You outgrow people in scenarios, and that's okay. I want every listener to know that is okay. If you don't let things in life anchor you and hold you back.
Yeah.
If people aren't, listen, the past is the past. All you have is the present. All you have is right now, right? And as you move forward towards that future, you're going to have you cannot change without changing. Change is going to happen, whether that means leaving people behind, changing scenarios, changing where you live. In order to evolve, change it's inevitable. It has to happen. And and some people are going to get hurt. They're going to be offended, by the way.
Yeah.
I lost friends in life as I moved on, but they were stuck doing the same old crap. And I didn't want that. I wanted more out of life. So doesn't mean I don't care about those people. I don't like them. It's just, listen, I'm sorry. I hurt your feelings, but I got to live my life.
Yeah, you're not going to have the same friends that you had in high school or college.
It's very rare.
Life is going to move on.
Rare.
You're gonna change, navigate, and then sometimes they might circle back 5 years later.
Sure.
You never know how that happens. But number 3 is actually, you alluded to, my focus will be on the present. In case no one told you today, yesterday ended last night, and more of the replay of yesterday. The further we move away from today's opportunities never look as good coming as they do going. And they wait for no one else. They wait for no one. As leaders, we must be focused on our present capabilities, not our past regret. Choose growth today. It's the only guarantee that tomorrow we will be better. And here's a quote from John Wooden, the legendary UCLA
Amazing
basketball coach.
Yep.
I forget how many multiple championships he won.
The
I think he did like
champions-
10 or 11 in a row
And the
or
champions
something.
that he bred out of those programs.
Yeah. There is a choice you have to make in everything you do. So keep in mind that in the end, the choice you make makes you. Let us all choose wisely. And I'll just say one kind of a metaphor here in life. I grew up hydrosliding, jet skiing, and being on boats on the Caloosahatchee River in LaBelle. We had a home that was on the river at one point. And when you look behind the boat, you see that wake behind you that's pushing out behind the boat. That's there. You can't change it. You know, that's your past. That represents your past. There's nothing you can do. I can't jump out of the boat and go out there and push the waves and try to make it change, nor would I want to. So the more that you focus on that boat and where you're going, the direction, the pace, the speed, the angles, that's what you're going to focus on. And that's your life, you know, so because where your focus goes, your energy flows, Alex.
Yeah, I agree. I think another thing that happens too, I think some people that don't propel forward, or some people don't want to let go of their past. Why? Maybe, you know, I think sometimes they feel that they've peaked. Like, this is it. I don't want to let go of this because it's the best thing that's ever happened. How do you know that is your greatest moment? Your life isn't over yet.
Well, they're married to the excuse. Oh, the reason I couldn't do this was because my mommy did that to me, or my daddy did this to me, or my uncle did that to me.
Accountability,
right?
man.
They're married to that excuse, though.
Yeah.
And that gives them the out, right?
I guess. I mean, people, you know, different reasons. And listen, I'm not judging anybody. I'm just saying the way I live my life and how I try to inspire and push those around me.
Yeah.
You can't listen. Don't look back. You're not going that way. Right?
Absolutely.
All we have is right now. So I remember very much. I guess I'll just disclose. I was in trouble one day and then sitting in the principal's office waiting to go in and talk to him in school.
I've been there.
And there was this. We all been there, man.
Hey, I got paddled back in
It's all
school
good.
too,
Hey,
man. Remember that? I got my butt whooped in second grade. I think it was third grade,
good
maybe.
Paddling will change your perspective on a lot of things. And I just remember this sign, and I sat there forever, and I think it was part of like a sweat tactic, like to try to like break my mind.
Oh,
before
yeah.
He didn't,
Yeah.
By the way, they didn't break me. But anyways, I was reading the sign on the wall, and I'll never forget it. Learn from the past, live in the present, plan for the future.
Love it.
Learn from the past, live in the present, plan for the future.
Yeah.
You know,
It's great, man.
I love it.
All right. Hey, another great segment there. We got to take a break, though. When we come back, we're going to talk with Shane Socash, David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin, coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Find out about how more and more people are going into David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin, local company right here in Tampa Bay, and they're talking about hedging against inflation. They're talking about getting out of the U.S. dollar and into gold, precious metals, silver, platinum, diamonds, other types of jewelry. Shane Socash coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show.
All right, Brandon Rhymes here, back in studio, helping you win in any marketplace. That's always our goal. Been on air for over 10 years now, helping sellers sell faster for more money in real estate. And we also like to bring, and we take great pride into bringing all of these different expert contributors that come on the show and talk about their respective business and their strategies and their insights into their specific knowledge. Everyone has specific knowledge out there. And today we're going to talk with Shane Socash now about his specific knowledge and things that he does on a daily basis. So we're talking with Shane Socash, David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin. Shane, welcome back to the show.
Hey, Brandon. Good to be on the show again.
Yeah, man, absolutely. We love having you. And you know, worldwide, there's a lot of uncertainty around the U.S. dollar, and we see digital currencies, making their way through these cryptos. You see all of these different challenges. You got the BRICS countries lining up saying, hey, you keep printing these American dollars. What is going on? So I think that's driving more and more people to buying gold, silver, platinum, and any other type of hedge that they can think of.
We're definitely seeing it. Bullion still continues to move here, even at, we're kind of, especially with gold, we're seeing all-time highs just about every couple of days. People are continuing to buy it, and the price continues to go up, and we're seeing a nice little pop on silver, too.
Yeah, so gold. So when you look at you think about gold and you say, "Wow, it's been high. It's been on record numbers. It's growing. It's going up." Is it a good time to buy it because it's at the top? And then the same thing with silver and platinum. I mean, those seem to be increasing because they're precious metals. What's your thoughts around that, or do people come in with those concerns?
So we answer these kind of questions all the time, and unfortunately, we don't have a crystal ball. Mm-hmm. I do have history to draw upon, and I will tell you that back around 2006-ish, I was relatively new in this particular industry, and I had a couple come in, and gold had run up at the time to approximately $800 an ounce. And a couple came out and they took out a second mortgage on their house, and they wanted to buy gold. And I just kind of scratched my head, and I said, "Really, are you sure that's the right move here? Wow. You're buying gold at the all-time high." And they said, "Yeah, we're committed. We want to do this. We think there's movement." So they bought gold at $800 per ounce at the time, and not even a couple years, 6 months later, it hit $1,200 an ounce.
Wow!
So just because it's at an all-time high now doesn't mean that there's no movement left.
Yeah, good point, because it is a limited commodity. I mean, that's the whole reason why people want to have that. There's a limited amount, unless, of course, they're going to be able to mine it here and there, but it is a finite resource in a sense, right?
That is true, yeah. We haven't mastered alchemy yet. We can't create gold where, it's an element. So we can't.
Well, speaking of that, though, you do. On one of the previous shows, we were talking about man-made diamonds. I had never heard of that until, 6 months ago, or however many times we talked about that. Talk about these diamonds. I mean, that's interesting.
Yeah, so physically and chemically identical diamonds grown in a laboratory where they take carbon and they use the right pressure and heat, and they're able to mass produce it. And I mean mass produce it. Even since I've been doing your show, the price on them has plummeted. So the people that paid $6,000-$7,000 for a big lab-grown diamond, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, the same diamond is worth very little. It's really, we sell them if the client wants them. We don't stock them. Yep. But just know that you're buying technology, and you know what happens to technology the second you walk out the door.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good way to put it, Shane. We're talking with Shane Socash. He's the owner of David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin right here in Tampa Bay. And I really love the idea of surprising people, giving gifts, and doing that random act of kindness we talk about. So what are some of the more unique gifts that people have come in? Because you can do actual design work there and create some really unique pieces.
So I've been designing jewelry for 30 years, so all I deal with is pretty much unique pieces. So they don't come to me, the common stuff that you can order. Everything I deal in is unique. We have lots of opportunities to tailor something to a person, their taste. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If you can dream it up, we can make it. And if you can't dream it up, we'll help you dream it up.
Yeah, I love that. And your location, let's talk a little bit about your location. Of course, you got your website, but also a physical location right here in Pinellas County.
Yeah, so we've been on Central Avenue since 1971. We've been in this location on the corner of 40th Street and Central Avenue since 1981, so 4009 Central Avenue.
Yeah, I love it, man. And online at, David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin?
Exactly, .com. Yeah, that's how they find us.
David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin.com. Go in and say hello and talk to Shane Socash. He's the owner. You can talk to him directly. Shane, you've helped many of our show listeners. You've had some good interactions with them, and it seems like they're pretty pleased.
Very much so, yeah. I pretty regularly will have someone say, "Hey, I heard you on the radio," and that's always nice.
Very cool. I love that. And you over the years too, you've had some pretty unique stories where people come in and sell you things. We've had the coffee can stories in the backyard. Any recent stories there as well?
Oh, I'm dying for new ones. I had a wealthy guy call in, and he said, "What are you paying?" I think at the time it was Canadian maple leafs, 1 ounce gold Canadian maple leafs. And I gave him the price. He said, "Okay, I got to go dig it up." And I knew this gentleman. I said, "Really? Like, you really have it buried?" And this is just a couple months ago.
That's funny.
He said, "Yeah." He takes a piece of PVC, caps one end, stacks the same inner diameter as the outside diameter of the coin, stacks the coins in, and then puts a cap on it, buries it in the backyard. I'm like, all right, man.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Dug it up and brought it in.
Yep. Hey, I guess it's pretty safe as long as you got a pit bull or some kind of a Rottweiler back there.
Well,
Shane, good talking with you, man. Shane Socash, David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin. Check him out online. David Reynolds, jewelryandcoin.com. Longtime friend of the show. Go say hello. Make sure you let him know you heard about him right here on the show. Thanks, Shane.
Thank you, Brandon.
Appreciate you. All right, we had a great show. We had Mike Murphy, Alex BlackBelt Lima, and, of course, Shane Socash on today's show. Please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. We'll see you next time here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.